Let's do it. Game number 5, the ace match, Flash versus Soulkey, to decide who will be the champion of the ASL team battle. And lo, we find ourselves on Circuit Breaker. One player, name will be heralded through the ages. But Flash versus Soulkey. There's the Soulkey Zerg in the brown on the bottom left-hand corner of Circuit Breaker. Soulkey Breaker, what I almost said. Flash in the red, of course. Mining minerals with his SCVs. In some way,
I guess that's what he's supposed to do, right?
I mean, in some ways, this is like a parody on the future of mankind when we'll all be trapped inside our metal boxes. I flew 7,500 miles to watch Flash.
Wow.
Young-ho fighting.
That's pretty hardcore right there.
This Hongo's also on point, so big fan of that.
7,500 miles. What's 7,500 miles away? Australia, maybe?
Scandinavia.
Really?
I think so. It's actually pretty close. Finland's like a 9-hour flight away. Did not know that.
How many miles is that, though?
Probably 7,500. I don't know. I counted Artosis. I know these things.
Yeah.
I, for some reason, am good at geography.
Yeah, okay.
Well, that's definitely not true.
That's good to hear.
All right, so it's going to be most likely a hatch first out of Soulkey against Flash. They're spawning on, not cross positions, but far away from each other on the bottom side of the map. And we'll see what is coming Soulkey's way. Barracks on the way.
Yeah, I would imagine it's probably just going to be a barracks expansion here from Flash. Pretty standard, pretty normal. Drone going to come out to scout. Flash going to scout Soulkey first, it's looking like. So pretty nice for him to get a feel on exactly what's coming his way. Which is an economic opener, of course, as you said, Rapid.
Oh, okay. I thought the drone was going to continue to curve, but it looks like he's scouting cross positions first. And then most likely we'll go head down in the right direction once he sees this SCV come in. And he's actually probably going to, changes the drone's path in mid-flight.
All right. This guy definitely a fan of Soulkey, hoping he wins. We'll see about that. Flash going to keep this SCV around for quite some time. Check out if there will be a third hatch, at what time it comes up, when is the gas taken, all that stuff.
Be interesting to see. Could have actually blocked that command center with the drone. That's always confusing for me. It's like, how do you block Terran buildings? Because they can build them anywhere. But now the second SCV coming off to ward out this pesky drone.
Yeah, the drone being microed pretty well. Drones actually can kind of kite SCVs. SCVs might have the most health, but they are not good at fighting. Not against other workers. No gas quite yet here. Okay, finally. Going to take that down. Third hatch going up very quickly from Soulkey as well. So definitely an economic opening from our Zerg player.
Yep, first Marine out on the map, just looking around for maybe an Overlord or two. Won't find anything. And in the meantime, the first few little Zerglings will pop out. Okay, well, that one's a drone. The next two Zerglings, just to usher this SCV out.
Teammates just watching on. It's out of their hands. They've done all that they can today and throughout the tournament, really. Got their teams here to the finals, so I guess everyone's done a great job, and it's the ace match, so couldn't really be any closer.
And that's an interesting feeling as a teammate, when you're playing a best of series or like, in a pro league style, when you're on the bench and you have done all you can do, and now the victory or the defeat is not in your hands. Like, that's a feeling of helplessness right there.
Yeah, and it's something that I think generally puts more pressure on players as well. Definitely you got to look at it like in a cultural way as well. It used to be, at least, these players will always live together, and if you do lose, you go home and you feel like the loss is on your shoulders. Of course, it's not quite the case here. This is kind of a more friendly team league. These guys aren't teammates living together at this point or anything like that, but still a lot of pressure on both sides. They want to go home champions. You don't want to, as Soulkey, be put out here and just get bopped by Flash, and it's like, well, sorry, guys.
I just want to point out there were, I think, 10 Zerglings in the base, and somehow Flash micros one SCV and escapes out of being very deep in enemy territory. Yep. So I don't know how that works, how it happens, but that's the thing. The bio is starting to pile up for Flash.
Another SCV trying to sneak its way through the bottom here. Really wants to get a bit more intel. Very sneaky move by Flash, trying to get in here. Marines walked out to the front for just a moment there to try to see if they could catch any lings, some stray lings running in.
Yeah, the fattest drone alive, blocking the entire ramp.
Yeah, good move by Soulkey. And this means he gets to block exactly what tech it is, which is going to be the Spire. Flash should be able to be ready for this without too much problem, though.
Yeah, Academy Comsats both on the way, so at the very worst, he could just scan it if he just gets really, really scared, but eventually this will be made known, and creep colonies coming up. Now, this is always the worry for me, Artosis, because we've seen several games that just end because the Zerg just has like one too few creep colonies. They get busted, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, well, you just have too few. And I mean, I only saw one starting there.
Well, he has enough because of the amount of Zerglings that he has right now. He will be finding he went 3 hatch, so definitely has enough right now. Flash's push out here is more to force that sunken, really, than anything else. He wants to make sure that there's a minimum amount of drones being made that he can really force by rallying up. Of course, with the fire bats coming out, it gets a little bit scarier, but Soulkey continues to produce lings, and he has a decent spread of them right now as well.
Yeah, he's got them in, I think, 2 or 3 locations around Flash's army, and there's 2 bridges coming into this natural, so that is a very scary place for Zerg to deal with, because Terran colonies just like stim, run back to the bridges, and that's a very low surface area.
Yeah, and especially with fire bats there, you don't want to be messing with that. So Flash just continues to run around. Okay, a nice stim there, tries to catch some lings. They all get away. More and more fire bats being made, going up to those 5 racks as well. This is a great way to play against Mutalisk Ling. And, you know, this is kind of funny. There's a lot of Zerglings out right now, and as the Mutas pop, that group of units in the middle could be killed off. This is a real thing. He might be able to flank that and kill it, but Flash is aware of the different timings here and is starting to move home.
In fact, speaking of timings, I think he might have scanned right as those mutas come out. But here we go, the run by. Can he get the surface area on the fire bats and kill them off quickly enough? Fire bats are down, and all of Flash's forces at home die.
This is a huge move here from Soulkey, eliminating a lot of the bio. Medics popping out right now. Everything's stimmed home as quickly as possible. 2 stims in. Turrets being made. He's trying to pick off some of these turrets here to get more damage done with the mutas. Doesn't look like he'll be able to do any.
Wow, Flash with perfect repair on both the bunker at the front and the turret in the main. And that is really going to shore his defenses up against these mutas coming in.
Yeah, he just needs to stabilize for a moment here. Get this 5 racks really pumping. 5 racks of +1 Marine Medic Fire Bat. Going to do a good job against this style of play. Now, where does Soulkey go from here? Is he going to go for quicker Lurkers? How quickly is he going to take the 3rd? We should be seeing the 3rd go up like right now. Okay, he is sending a drone out. This makes a lot of sense. Obviously, he killed a big chunk of bio there, so he might be able to get away with this and actually get his economy rolling.
He killed a bunch of bio, but the ball continues to grow. Flash now getting a little bit antsy out there on the map, pushing back these Mutalisks. He's got a bunch of turrets in his main. Eventually, Flash is going to look to push out.
Yeah, certainly he is. He wants to be able to deny that 3rd or kill Soulkey outright with the huge amount of bio that he's going to end up having. But Soulkey, this is good. He's forcing out stims, and he's keeping Flash back for the time being. Anything you pick, oh, that was an awesome move. Picking off fire bats is fantastic.
Yep, and forcing a big stim out there, so medic energy actually going to be a little bit low.
Yeah.
Always want to keep that as a resource in mind, and great Mutalisk control here by Soulkey. Let's take a little bit of damage there. Lose the Mutalisk.
Good usage of that ramp by Soulkey as well. Flash stimming up, starting to actually chase down Soulkey now. Soulkey lost a lot of Zerglings early on, so he doesn't have quite as much as before. Looks like he is going to tech up into those Lurkers and even the Queen's Nest on the way.
Yikes. Okay, does grab a... wow, continuing to just shave off Mutas here. This is not the greatest Mutalisk control. A couple of Zerglings in the middle of the map getting picked off there as well.
He's got to buy more time. You know, this 3rd base is not up yet. He's sending the 2 Hydras. You can put a couple Lurkers on top of the ramp, really slow down any bio. Has some Lings out there as well, but Flash is headed towards it. So this is a race against time right now for Soulkey.
It's all going to be about the Mutal Micro, if he can get his Zerglings into a good position, maybe snipe off some reinforcements. Flash not parading his units across the map. And there are the 2 Hydras looking to get morphed into Lurker eggs and block that ramp.
Dude, this is getting really tight right now. Okay, the Lings go out in the middle to catch these reinforcements. He knows that these are coming. So that is a strong move, but will he actually have Lurkers? Are those morphing yet? They are morphing. You can't kill Lurker eggs, but as they pop open, there is a possibility you can get up and surround them and scan.
That is true. It is, in fact, Morphin time, Artosis. And they will be blocking those, blocking the ramp for at least a little bit longer. They finally do finish. They will save one of them. They'll save a second, but there's a scan on top of the ramp. A couple of Lurker spines do go down, but there might just be too much here for Flash. It's just barely not enough.
My
Soulkey holds.
This is a huge moment for Soulkey, barely saving that one Lurker, keeping his mutas over the bio and wiping it out. Now, this doesn't mean that he wins. The game is not over. Flash has a ton more bio, but that was the first step for Soulkey in getting towards that Nidus, getting towards those Defilers, and actually holding this permanently.
Gods can bleed, Artosis, and picking off a big bio force means that while, yes, also the forces will be smaller, this gives Soulkey time to position, time to get those Lurkers out. He'll be able to defend that base up in the upper left-hand side, and now Flash, where does he go?
Well, he's taking like massive map control right now. He knows that Soulkey still has to turtle up. What Soulkey needs to get to is Nidus Worm plus Defilers. Once he has that, he can defend this base, he can end up taking a fourth, and the game can go very long. Now, will Flash just stay on bio? Will he make a transition here? He's already taken his third base. We could see him switch into mech. That is a possibility.
Now here come Lurkers around from behind. There's a couple of Scourge out there, maybe to pick off some Silence Vessels. We don't see any of those just yet. We're going to see the Lurkers get picked off immediately. Not a lot of mutas here, but oh my god. And Lurkers even behind there. Sunken's up in time, while Vultures will sneak through there for a little bit of economic damage. This Bio Ball dies again.
Okay, yeah, he holds on there. This was a great move with the Vultures, though. This is such a nice counter to just some Lurkers on top of a ramp, able to kill off those drones immediately. So he's put Soulkey back on basically a two-base economy. Very painful for Soulkey to lose these drones up here.
Yeah, Soulkey also reflexively remade drones up there, even though they were just going to hatch and die. So not a great decision there. And so, yeah, like you said, Muta's finally going to clean this up. You didn't say the thing about the mutas. You said the base was getting destroyed. So.
Oh, yes.
There we go. And Defiler Den out, so Defilers will be coming out there for Dark Swarm over Lurkers, and this base finally gets rebooted.
Okay, so like this is the point where Flash, he's doing a great job, right? And he's making some Vultures, which is really nice anyways, just having some mines out that's going to be annoying for Soulkey to deal with. You run some Lings or Lurkers or Defilers into that, and that's just value. But he's actually staying on bio, which is kind of exciting. Oh, no.
Those Lurkers were at hold position, too.
Yeah,
he's going to get irradiated and blown up by a mine.
Jeez.
Yikes.
Like, Soulkey has hemorrhaged like 4 or 5 Lurkers this game in kind of semi-sloppy ways like we just saw right there. Flash out with his Science Vessel now. I don't know. Do you end up holding on?
I mean, it's going to be about, does he have irradiate energy? It looks like he does not.
Yeah, no, he just used it on a Lurker, so he's a little bit low on energy. Keeps it alive, so he does have that detection still, but do we have the Nidus? Okay, I think we do. Yep. That's so many Zerglings. There has to be a Nidus up. Where's the Defiler? The Defiler is what matters right now. We have to see fantastic Defiler usage.
Yeah, Dark Swarm on this ramp means that it doesn't matter how many forces Flash has there, he won't be able to push in. But he is taking his 4th base behind this as well, so even if he can't kill that base off for Soulkey, he's going to be in a great economic position.
Well, look at Soulkey here, really on top of things. He's going to force to cancel it immediately on Flash's
but there goes
forward.
that irradiate. How well can Soulkey split? Not at all!
No!
Okay.
Oh, that was so much damage.
Finally gets that irradiate out of there. Is there enough energy for another one? Thankfully not.
Takes a little bit to get multiple irradiates. Oh, he's going to hunt it down, actually, and that's a big deal. When you decide to stay on bio, your Science Vessels are the most important units that you make. You need a ton of them to be able to actually deal with Defilers and Lurkers, and of course it helps against mutas as well, but to lose any of them is a pretty big blow to Terran.
Yeah, Flash actually giving a lot of respect to these Mutalisks, pulling back his entire army all the way off the map. He's left some mines from behind, but now okay, you're going to rearrange those barracks.
Yeah, this is pretty funny. He's going to send these out, and they're going to scout everything for him. He is switching into mech from here for certain. He has a certain set of bio, and until he has mech out, this bio has to get some stuff done. So he's cleared the top right. He's double expanding, leaving just a few units there so like a Zergling can't ruin his game. And now he's got to keep map control during this tech transition.
No vultures, you cannot make it through, do not pass go into the base. They get taken out, pushed back, and the mutas will wrest control of every part of the map that does not contain this last bio ball remaining for Flash.
Okay, a couple science vessels coming down. He might want to try to deal with these mutas right away. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
Oh, he's trying to pre-split against the Irradiate, and he does do a great job isolating that Mutalisk.
Taking down a science vessel, very nice move for him right there. A ton of SCVs being transferred up into these new bases. Has to build some turrets, of course, because there's still Mutalisks around the map. Huge amount of factories coming down right now for Flash as well.
Yeah, really in full tech switch mode, and he's got a decent amount of time to do it. Just now getting that 4th base up, another macro hatch on the way as well. Both players getting ready for the late game.
Dude, this is game 5 of the finals of ASL Team Battle, and Flash is being forced into a macro game here against Soulkey, who's playing a brilliant Zerg vs. Terran here on Circuit Breaker.
I mean, so many players don't even get to this point. They just die to the bio. Yeah. So now we're about to witness, this is like the Power Rangers being streamed on Twitch right now. Everybody's watching that. This is like when the Power Rangers finally beat the tiny version of the demon, and then Rita Repulsa has to go supersize it. Well, this is supersize Flash. The mech transition in full force, 5 bases up there, and this is really the true test. Can Soulkey pull out his Megazord in time, Artosis?
I don't know, but I've been seeing people tweet blah, 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 blah.
So that's the new
only
This is
meme
what our erudite society has been reduced to, Artosis. The pinnacle. Aliens are like getting this info beamed to them, and they're like, do we invade this planet? Well, the answer's looking a lot more like yes, the more people spam that. I'm just saying it. All right, Scourge coming through. They will snipe off at least one science vessel. Dark Swarm in the middle gets those Lurkers in a good position.
Yeah, losing these science vessels is still very, very painful for him. He really wants to be able to utilize them to kill off Lurkers for free, to kill off anything for free, really. Vulture's trying to delay this 5th base for Soulkey.
Nope. Turns out concussive damage against buildings does next to nothing. So no matter how many Vultures you have, it's going to take a lot to kill that off. So base not canceled, and the bio ball kind of did do its job though, buffered enough for Flash to make his transition.
Yeah, he's done a really good job with the bio that he has left over, and it's still out there kind of cleaning some things up, and you know, it's annoying, like you don't really want to run your lings into it or anything. But now the mines are going down en masse, and a lot of missile turrets, a lot of siege tanks. Eventually, we should see Soulkey. Okay, he's already got the Overlord speed. He should be getting drops. He should be going up to Ultralisks. This is going to have to get down and dirty for Soulkey suddenly. He's going to have to pull that trigger and start like dropping everywhere, making it gross for Flash to try to hold on.
Yeah, he will be getting those adrenal glands that make those drops so deadly eventually, and Flash did prepare for the mutas, but is having trouble dealing with the remnants of this last bio ball, all those science vessels.
Yeah, the science vessels are just great here. Like, he has, what is this, 4 or 5 science vessels with the Marines just kind of keeping them alive. What good usage of the Marines right now. Every time he gets an Irradiate, that is value for him.
Yeah, whether it's a Lurker or a Muta, Soulkey's Muta splitting looking better, but certainly has had its own struggles. Oh no, Lurkers into mines!
Yes, indeed. The mines clearing out almost everything, but the Zerglings can clear the rest of these siege tanks, so that's pretty solid.
Yep, if a pixel of Dark Swarm is touching your unit, well, you can't be attacked by ranged units.
Yes.
So funny how that works out sometimes.
Terran units.
Yeah.
Terran doesn't even own a melee unit, so just splash damage, looking to clear up things under that Dark Swarm, so it gets very, very difficult for him, but Flash starting to do a little bit of a push. He's killed off a lot of these units.
Yeah, running forward. Lurker actually killed underneath that Dark Swarm, scan on top of the ramp, and that last Lurker is not Dark Swarm, so consumes an Overlord, but he doesn't even protect the Lurker. He dies beforehand, so I think those are drop Overlords trying to move across, but there's just too much anti-air.
Yeah, might be. He's definitely needs to get into that. Quite a few Scourge are still out here. Okay, the drops have begun. I mean, this one probably not going to get too much done overall, but this is how very late game against mech works, is you are going to have drop Overlords all over the place, dropping on top of tanks, trying to make things as cost and efficient for Terran as is possible.
Here come more out across the map. Not sure if those are loaded. It's always the mystery. Can't tell.
Zerglings do have that Adrenal upgrade right now. Irradiates go off on all of these Overlords, and the big Bio Ball takes every single one of them out.
That is brutal. We have to assume that those had Defilers, Lurkers, and Lings in them. Like, that's the way that Soulkey's trying to play this game right now. So that was a huge pick-off for Flash. This ball of bio that he's kept alive with the Science Vessels accompanying it is like amazingly good, amazingly strong. So often we see this late game, and that doesn't exist. It's just mech, but he's gained a ton of value with that overall.
Trying to clone these Scourge against the Science Vessels. He will have enough. I think he actually used too many of them to kill that one Science Vessel. The Zerglings out there on the map are starting to deal with the last remnants of this Bio Ball. 2-1 upgrades there on the Zerglings, and takes at least a little bit of it out. That should be at least the last few Medic Marines.
Okay, so the bio's gone. He definitely does want to kill off the last couple Science Vessels. I think there's only 2 left. So it's not quite a big deal as it was before, but now Flash is just solidly into mech, continuing to get these upgrades, doing what he can with it. The Ultralisk Cavern is done. We should see increased drops now as well.
Soulkey actually individually targeted a mine to kill it so it wouldn't kill the Zerglings. Super good control. Now, I guess the big thing for Soulkey, the little Scourge that could.
Yeah. Sorry I bruised it, but my brother died, so I don't know.
It's like you still continue on your suicide mission knowing that your death will not be enough to kill the Science Vessel.
Yeah.
It's like out of the corner of your eye, you see the SCV coming in to repair it. All right, trying to move these Lurkers through. Darkstorm does go down. There are detectors there in the form of those missile turrets, but is there enough back at home to kill off these Lurkers?
No, certainly not. It's really tough because Terran units don't hit things under Darkstorm. You need other units there so that Splash splashes off the unit onto the unit that you're trying to actually hit. Anyways, that's a good drop. He needs more and more and more things like that. Okay, gonna finally deal with the Science Vessels. That is the end of Science Vessels as far as I know.
Yeah, in Science Vessels, you don't want to have to remake a huge another batch of them after you lose everything. Siege Tank's getting cleared out there, but economy will eventually become an issue here for Soulkey. He needs to expand to that 9 o'clock location, and right now Flash is doing a good job shutting it down.
Yeah, that's a very solid kill. Flash has a ton of bases right now, but Soulkey is using, he's using all the tools in his toolbox. Mech does struggle against this. You don't really want many Goliaths. They're pretty bad against everything but the Mutas, so very good job there.
Valkyries.
Oh, yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Right to the Valkyries all the way out there across Circuit Breaker, and that will push these Mutalisks back and force Soulkey to be the one that needs anti-air.
Pretty big drop coming up right now, going towards this top right area. Valkyrie's on the way to try to help out, as well as a lot of the mech actually being rallied back into that location.
If I remember correctly, Valkyries are actually pretty tanky, so it takes quite a few Scourge to kill them off. And they're going to find the Overlords. They're going to have to drop everything right there, and indeed they were all very heavily loaded.
Yeah, looks like it was mostly Zerglings, maybe just trying to destroy the infrastructure up here. They'll still do some damage, it looks like, but a good amount of mech coming back to make sure they don't do too much.
Yeah, well, wow, that's a lot of Ultras, Artosis.
It certainly is. They're going to get on top of these Siege Tanks, clear those out pretty quickly. But Flash has some good map control right now. Look at these streams of red units coming down to help anything that's under attack.
Yeah, and Ultra's very, very expensive. You need a gas-rich economy to be able to mass produce those, and that gas in the 9 o'clock position is still untaken by Soulkey.
Another Ultralisk will lose its life right there. More and more Siege Tanks being rallied out, sieged up all over the place. The efficiency of +3 Siege Tanks shelling everything before it can even reach.
Well, Flash also not mining out of a base he could be mining at, and I'm going to rescind my earlier comment. There are not a lot of Ultralisks on the map anymore, Artosis.
No
Flash
longer.
Moving forward, fully transitioned into this mech ball out on the map. Soulkey.
I tell you, Soulkey is doing a good job in a lot of ways, man. Like, he's keeping those Mutas alive despite the fact there's Valkyries out trying to hunt for him. So, let's see what he can get done here. Throws down some Dark Swarms. Certainly he's trying to get on top of everything. Wow, those are some really clumped tanks.
I'm trying to figure out exactly how many Zerglings. So splash damage does hit. So when the tanks are targeting Zerglings under it.
Yeah, like the splash, it'll hit different Zerglings. Like the main shot doesn't hit. It's the splash around the main shot that hits.
So eventually, actually, all of Flash's tanks do get cleared up. I mean, I look out on the map for the red that's out there, and it's just a whole lot less.
Yeah, like he's definitely lost a ton of units in here, no doubt about that. Soulkey is getting through quite a few of these.
Oh my god.
This is a nice little group in the middle as well. Flash not replacing spider mines very quickly at all, really just macroing up siege tanks right now.
Okay, well, Vultures are great at dealing with those Zerglings out there. So the run by unsuccessful, but I mean, lots of damage being done. I think for me, it just becomes about, okay, how many Valkyries die? Both of them. I think that you're starting to see why Valkyries are just not a very common unit.
Eventually they will be taken out in situations like that. The mines starting to go down. This is really important for Flash to have these mines. It's just, it's APM intensive and cost inefficient for Soulkey to deal with those. So that's something that can buy Flash time to do things like maybe get over here and kill another base.
Well, once again, no anti-air with Flash's army, so these mutas will pay for themselves, but not before the Vultures are able to kill every single drone at that expansion.
Yeah, in fact, even that hatchery is going to end up dying because of these siege tanks dealing so much damage to it. But here comes another drop. Flash doesn't really have too much anti-air here, so the mutas are being worth a lot, and also, you know, obviously you can drop right on top of siege tanks.
2-3 upgrades for mech as well. They're almost at that 3-3. 3-3 mech, man, that is just so insanely scary. But crackling drops also very, very devastating to deal with. Lots of Zerg out there ready for maybe a counterattack. Here comes up the Defiler ready to drop the Dark Swarm. Flash macroed back up, out back on the map, but still no anti-air with his army.
Yeah, these mutas are starting to get pretty nutso right now. He needs to get something out there. Dark Storm coming up, down at Flash's, I don't know what to call this base, 7th base or something.
I mean, it's up there, but maybe not for long. Ultra's finally dealing with those siege tanks out there. Force them to unsiege in order to be effective, and finally those Ultras die, but lots more out on the map, and maybe at long last this 9 o'clock base will be allowed to come up. Soulkey's actually is taking the 12 o'clock as well, so wow, Overlords moving forward, getting ready to drop. I'm not sure if those are loaded or not.
Yeah, I think they could be. He's like waiting and seeing if Flash will siege right there. Really, the tanks are going to kill themselves almost quicker than the Zerglings are going to kill them.
That's very true.
The Crackling's coming in right now, dealing a lot of damage to this base. Not much left over.
Oh, targeting the mines now, but finally one does connect, kills off the majority of those Cracklings, and finally an Ultra. Moving forward, the Defiler. I'm not sure why that guy was there. But he does get picked off, and another big push out there. This is like finally the big Deus Vult push by Flash.
Okay, is he going to be able to break through Soulkey, though? Because Soulkey still has a decent amount of units up here. The muta's flying around still to this day, picking off so many units. They have been really cost-efficient so far this game.
I mean, we saw Flash keep his bio ball alive for a long time and get a lot of cost efficiency out of that. I was impressed by that, but man, these mutas just outlived everything.
Yeah, and look at this. Soulkey is really making this a down and dirty
Flash
fight.
starting to fall apart a little bit. He's got Zerglings in so many of his bases. Finally getting a foothold. He's going to lose his 3 o'clock base. More and more bases just not mining for Flash.
This is so rough. These Zerglings with such massive upgrades doing a great job. Flash still trying to take out Soulkey bases. But Soulkey has a lot of minerals left that he is mining from, and it's just getting to be such a sloppy game.
Beautiful drops here by Soulkey all the way on top of Flash's tanks. His forces in the map are getting cleaned up.
This is a big moment right now for Soulkey to clean this up, save those top left bases. His 9 o'clock is not under attack as well, can definitely drone that up. Flash looks like he might be getting ready to attack that bottom left base that has minerals, but he doesn't really have that much he's mining from right now.
Artosis, I'm getting some sick, worried chills. I have so many chills that if there were a lot of Team Liquid strategy forums, I could moderate them all.
Oh my gosh, that's a lot of chill.
Indeed it is. All right, well, another big back road force up in the middle of the map for Flash, but it's just not looking as strong as it once was. Still struggling to get anti-air, and with a big drop of Ultras, the Dark Swarm coming down.
My God,
Zerg forces everywhere, crushing Flash's tanks.
This could be a winning move right here. All the siege tanks being taken out. The Zerglings come out flanking all of them. Nothing going to make it home. Flash in so much trouble. The favorite of this tournament, drafting by far the most powerful team as far as 1 vs. 1s go, also is being dismantled by Soulkey.
Putting himself into the last game instead of guys like Last, who's already a proven ace player. I mean, you can't argue against putting Flash in, but he's just struggling so much.
Well, Soulkey has played a clean and beautiful game. The mutas still floating over everything. putting a clock on every Siege tank's life. More and more Lings coming out. Flash, he has a lot of Vultures out here. He's trying to make it back into this game by some massive harassment, maybe some good Spider Mines as well.
I mean, they're getting the job done, but man, like you said, Soulkey just looking so solid. I mean, everybody thought Utada Hikaru wrote the theme song, simple and clean for the video game, but it's about Soulkey's play, man.
Well, I tell you, there's nothing clean about how Flash is trying to defend this. Oh my God, that splash damage, huge! The mine connection right there, blowing up so many tanks. Flash saves the base, which is very important, but Soulkey keeps control.
All right, so I mean, finally a little bit of maybe a ceasefire here. Just huge blows being landed on both sides, and I mean, Flash still out on the map.
This is what Flash needs, is the ceasefire just for a moment, because as Zerg against Mech, you work up to this point where it's non-stop drops everywhere. Zergling's running everywhere. And now you're right. Soulkey just doesn't have anything for a moment, so it stops. This allows Flash to do things like lay mines, make sure he's mining everywhere, get forward into a nice position, siege up a base, things like that. This is a really important moment for Flash. He might be able to come back off of it.
Another drop in here by Soulkey. Look at the Mind Drags, killing off so many of Flash's forces.
Oh, the Dark Swarms as well going off. Some of these mines going to clear Zerglings out quite a bit. Flash retreating with what he has right there. And Soulkey trying to get the runaround all over the place.
Oh my God. Ultras, you're not going to make it in quite that way. Most upgrades already all the way taken. 3-3 for both sides, and another Vulture run by trying to limit the economy here at 9 o'clock.
I mean, Flash is killing off some drones and whatnot, but Soulkey is looking solid. He's actually taking more of the map than Flash. And of course, that one base towards the upper right that he killed off a bit ago, Flash still hasn't retaken. So Soulkey is actually getting a much bigger economy.
I think one of the downfalls for Flash this game might be just the consistent lack of anti-air. He's getting dropped on, and there's GG! Soulkey has done it! Team I Am Mong believed their way into the finals and have taken the ace match to eliminate Team Flash and claim the championship. The hands of Soulkey in the ASL team battle.
That was an excellent and epic series, no doubt about it. Soulkey finishing it off with one of the best ZvTs that we have seen this year. Oh my God, fantastically played. From the early game holds to the late game macro to making it just so dirty for Flash trying to hang on. Awesome, awesome games.
I can't tell you what a treat it is to be here to witness this. I mean, last year with, I think it was the Vance Star League being, Brood Wars' first modern day, broadcast out here in Korea through 2 seasons of ASL. Here to the ASL team battle. It has been quite the journey for Brood War, but to be able to witness epic games like this on a scale as meaningful for guys like Team I Am Mong, it's just a thing of beauty, Artosis.
It really is. It's so fun to watch them win because they weren't even expected to be in the finals. They came through the loser bracket. They upset Team Bisu. They upset now Team Flash. And damn, they're the champions, man.
They
well
indeed
done.
Are, my friend. They are all on stage, lining up against each other. I mean, one team did win today, but just an insane roster of players on both sides.